r/askreddit. What's something weird / funny / embarrassing you've done on autopilot? I was looking all over for my keys and finally thought that I might have left them in the car. I went outside and my car was locked. So I pulled my keys out of my pocket, unlocked the door, opened the door, and realized how much of an idiot I am. The battery on my car remote went dead and I was late for work. I frantically pressed the unlock button to get it to work. No dice. I was like it. Duck. How do I get to work? Should I work from home? I rather not though. Damn it. What to do? Then I realized I could use the key. You know, that jagged metal thing you jab in keyholes. The key isn't even hidden in the remote. You know, that jagged metal thing you jab in keyholes? They work as excellent lockpicks if you carefully match it with the right lock. Washed an apple at the sink. Dried it with a paper towel. Turned and tossed the apple in the trash and stood there holding the towel like an idiot. I have thrown away ceramic plates more times than I care to admit. Who off? I can hear my mother getting pissed off at this comment. Undressing to shower. I threw my underwear into the toilet instead of the laundry and flushed it. When I was 6/7 years old. I was getting ready for a bath. My parents had already filled the tub and all I had to do was take off my clothes and put them in the basket of dirty laundry. Took everything off and threw it all in the tub. Stood there and stared for a solid 30 seconds. That solid 30 seconds is actually also a soiled 30 seconds. I kissed my wife's best friend. It was totally innocent and something we laughed about. I had to take a bus to work every day at about 4 AM. My wife usually drove me to the stop so that I didn't have to leave my car there for 14 hours. My wife's friend was staying with us while she looked for a job and house in the area. She was getting up early anyways, so she decided she would take me and let my wife sleep. When we got to the stop, I just instinctively leaned over and kissed her goodbye. She had a dumbfounded look on her face, and mine instantly turned red as I realized what I'd done. I just said sorry. It was a habit. My wife poked fun at me for days for putting the moves on her friend. At her at least she was understanding. Not related to your comment. But I love how you reply to everyone. I used to work on a farm and we always took our boots off before entering the homestead for meal breaks. One afternoon I absent-mindedly unbuttoned my jeans and started to take them off instead of my boots. I guess my brain decided I was done for the day. Was anyone around to see? Yep, everyone else working there going on tea break. I used to work for Comcast in their call center. I worked 3 PM 12 AM, so the only thing that was open when I would get off work was McDonald's. During the holidays they have unlimited overtime. Me being 19 and having no obligations at the time, decided to just work non-stop until I fell down at my desk. I worked 3 days straight of odd, taking my mandatory breaks every couple of hours and napping in the lunchroom here and there. Finally I decided I'd had enough and started on my way home at around 2 AM one morning. I stopped at the McDonald's drive-thru because I wanted something hot to eat. Up until this point I'd subsisted on mints and packs of crackers from a vending machine. The conversation went something like this. "Drive-thru lady, go ahead and order when you're ready." Me, "Thanks for calling Comcast. Home of the triple play. My name is Albadal 200. How can I assist you today?" A very long pause. I ended up sleeping in the parking lot of that McDonald's for about 12 hours in my car. The manager eventually knocked on my window and asked me if I was homeless and if I needed to come in and warm up. Wholesome offending. Not a lot of mangas or people would do that. Did you get a day off for all year overtime? I think mangas have a really good reputation for being welcoming to strangers in need. Especially this time of year. Edit. Wow. My first gilding. Thank you. Internet wise man. Does Reddit give out frankincense and myrrh? 2. Have a good day, sir. Love you too. Awkward shuffle out of Panera. The horror. First time I met my ex's sister. She went, "Hi. I'm sister. How's you?" And I said, "Thanks. How's you?" I'm an ex-bus driver and many times on my way home from work, I would go to pull into a bus stop in my car. That's awesome. Do you ever start driving your route by accident? Yes. I have done that too. The pipe underneath my sink was broken, so I put a bucket below it to catch the water leaking out. When it was full, I poured it back in the sink and proceeded to flood my kitchen. Similarly, I have made chicken stock, got out the strainer, poured my stock through it and down the sink, leaving myself with a nice pile of depleted bones and a new, lower estimation of my intelligence. I'm laughing right now, but I know that one day I'll be making chicken stock. I was working the back line at an Arby's way back in the day. We used to get our sub buns foot long, but all the subs we sold were 6-inch. I literally reached into the bag, grabbed a sub roll, cut it in half, and then put the knife back in the bag and tried to cut another sandwich with the sub bun. My manager saw it and died. I laughed so hard at this. Thank you. I can't stop laughing at the image of vacant confusion on someone's face as they try and work out why the sandwich isn't working. Was signing for a parcel on one of those electronic things delivery drivers use, and I wasn't paying any attention and ended up staring at it for a minute and then just drawing a straight line on the screen and handing it back. He was confused. Apparently so were you. For some reason this made me laugh harder than I should. Not just this story, but your reply as well. My wife's friend and her husband were leaving after having dinner at our house. As they're leaving, she says love you to my wife. Naturally, I respond love you T. Yeah. Good night. As a 911 dispatcher, I ended a 911 call with an accidental I love you. Extremely awkward to say the least. Edit. Wow. This blew up. Thank you all for making my biggest Reddit moment bigger than I ever imagined. And thank you kind stranger for the gold. Also, my husband, who doesn't Reddit, is quite amused at the response my blunt moment is getting. I ended a routine phone call with my boss with love you. Bye. And hung up before I realized what I just did. Boss hugged me when I got in and teased me for a week. Go to the cinema to watch Quantum of Solace. Walk in 5 minutes late. Furious car chase on screen. Instinctively try to find my seatbelt. Safety first. I tried putting the milk bottle back in the microwave, then got mad when it didn't fit. I only stopped trying cause my brother was there watching and he started laughing. OMG, oh no, haha. I was imagining like a tiny bottle of milk and then was like, how did it not fit? I've been there. I'm always putting cutlery in the fridge and things from the fridge in the cutlery drawer. Found the remote in the fridge once. Still not sure how I did that. Edit. Thanks for the gold kind stranger. Got in my car to buy groceries and drove the 45 minutes to work. PS. But the actually embarrassing one is when you are a home care nurse and you walk into one of your patients' home at 9 PM expecting them to have milk and bread in stock. This is my biggest one. My wife has to remind me constantly I'm not going to work when I drive on the weekends. Remember? He muttered and climbed in his car. You're off to the market. You're not going far. The market. He mumbled. The market. That's it. He looked at his office. He whispered, oh it. Always running to catch the subway after waiting at the crosswalk in front of the station. Casually walking with my friend in the same area yesterday. Started running when the cross sign lit up. He was like WTF. Pavlov's commute. I think I've heard of that before. Well, it rings a bell anyway. I drove home from Phoenix to Prescott, forgetting the fact that I had moved to Flagstaff about a month prior. Got all the way to my old driveway before realizing my error. Both Prescott and Flagstaff are north of Phoenix, but are about 1.75 hours apart from each other. Oh no, haha. Fun to see in as one here. I'm a wondering when the time will come that I accidentally drive to my old job in downtown Phoenix. A practiced route of 3 years. I've lived here since I was 8, and now I'm currently visiting again from college. Last time I was here I leave and went the wrong way on the I-10 out of habit and ended up near downtown Phoenix before I turned around to head towards Tucson. I had recently been attending a lot of marital arts classes at night. One morning at work I accidentally bowed at my boss when I entered his office. This was in the US. Neither of us are of Asian descent. And yes, he noticed. It was awkward. Marital arts? Is that like how to keep the love alive type classes? Yeah, just got a bow every now and again. Stopped at a stop sign and waited at least a minute and a half for it to turn green. Autopilot equals high. I've done this many times 100% sober. Just today I went to the grocery store, packed everything into my backpack at self-checkout and went home. As soon as I got home I remembered I never actually paid. Edit, to all those asking if I went back and paid. I did. As soon as I noticed, I went back, swiped my card in the self-checkout, and got it over with. Nobody had even noticed. The store is about 300 meters from my apartment complex. For clarification as to how I got away with it, the self-checkout works by swiping your personal discount card, then grabbing a scanner that lights up. You scan all your items before putting them into your cart/basket. When you're done, you put the scanner back. Then go to one of the self-checkout registers. Swipe your discount card again to create a bill to pay. Then pay it using your debit card. I did everything except swipe my card and pay, since I usually do all this before packing everything. Yesterday I was worried if they'd fit, so I wanted to find out first. Put them all into my backpack and then went my merry way without a second thought. When I worked at Target I did this once. A couple came to my register. I put everything in a bag and handed it to them. They went up, thanks, and walked away. Took me a solid 5 minutes to realize I didn't put anything through the register. And that's one way to legally get away with shoplifting, haha. I was feeling an encroaching sickness coming upon me one time, so I decided to be proactive and make myself a couple of days worth of the most baller chicken soup I could manage in advance, so I'd be able to eat well even when I was dying of the lurgy. I chopped the carrots, I sorted the onions, I stewed the chicken bones, and I cooked that methodica down for 8 hours into the most delicious stock you could imagine. Then I poured it all through a colander into the sink. This one hurts to read. Make sure to like and subscribe so we can watch together.